Before we begin today's lesson, I have a brief announcement. There has been a schedule change. If you look here, all of the files on Moodle have been updated. Originally, I guess this file has not been updated, sorry. Originally, we were going to take a field trip on November 21st to attend the graduation thesis conference. However, this year, the conference is here in the EE building, and I only have one group of students presenting, and the organizers have very kindly arranged for my students to present in the afternoon. So we're still going to have grammar class. And you also won't need to attend the conference and write reflections for this class, although you may have to do it for other classes if you have classes on Friday. Which means we get one more week of grammar. See, I have updated this syllabus. Okay. So this is what the new schedule looks like. November 21st, we're doing possessives, contractions, and quantifiers. I moved everything up and I split prepositions and mechanics into 2 weeks. So it'll be a little bit less rushed. Also on November 21st, there may or may not be a cultural exchange with a junior high school in Kasama City, Japan. They may or may not send people here, or we may or may not do it online. I'll tell you when more details come through. But if we do have a cultural exchange that week, I will not be late, so neither should you. Questions about the new schedule? Yeah, I'll go back and update handout 1 also. Sorry about that. Okay, so which page was the homework? 15 to 22? That doesn't seem. Oh, yeah, yes. I think we ended somewhere on page 14, and then we went to do a drill, right? Okay, so bottom of page 14, do we have questions? No? Then I'm going to move on. Page 15. Questions about page 15? If you don't understand an answer, please ask. This is part of the learning process. Number 12. When you visit a big city in my country, you must. Okay, so this must is a recommendation. After a modal verb, we use the original form of the verb. So it should be must pay attention. You don't need this to be stuff. You don't need this ing. Use the original form. Must pay attention to your wallet. And then a thief may. You want the modal verb. Maybe is an adverb. Here you want the modal verb may. May try. Yes. Yes. Maybe is an adverb, right? So if you want to use maybe, you should put it in front here to modify the entire part of that sentence, because maybe a thief could try to steal it. Maybe is the same as perhaps. If you cannot put perhaps in this place, then you cannot put maybe. Other questions about this page? Sorry? Number 3. When you send for the brochure, brochure, by the way, in Chinese, we call this DM. Hmm. Yeah. DM is Chinese. You know this, right? If you're speaking Chinese and you say DM and everybody understands you, that's Chinese. But if you want to expand DM these 2 letters, it stands for direct marketing. 直销的那个宣传文件. So when you send for the brochure, you should okay, so again, modal verb followed by the original form should include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Okay, so a few more things about this sentence. When you send for, which means if you are asking someone for a DM and you send a letter, or I guess today you would send an email asking for the DM, that's what it means when it says to send for something, right? You email them asking them for, in this case, the brochure. A self-addressed stamped envelope. In Chinese, we call this 回邮信封. This phrase is very common in business English. It is often abbreviated to SASE. So if you see something that says, please include SASE, that's what it's talking about. Okay, other questions about this page? Number 9. Many students would rather, okay, so rather is an adverb, which is comparing two things, rather A than B. If it's an adverb, it does not affect the grammar. You can take it out and the grammar should be the same. So if you take out rather, you have would to study, which is wrong. Would is a modal verb. It should be followed by the original form. So it should be would rather study. Okay? So it should be would study, and then you put the adverb back in rather than. And then the second part. Yes. So rather A than B, you're comparing things, right? When you compare things, the two things should have the same grammar. So if your first one is rather study, then your second one must be than go. Yes. So A and B must have the same grammar. Yes. Yes. Other questions about this page? If not, let's move on to page 16. Questions about page 16. Number 2. Okay, so in this case, may is sorry, what? Okay, so yes, the problem is not with the structure of the sentence. The problem is with the word may. May is a very polite form of can. It's usually used when suggesting yourself. So if the subject of this sentence is I, then you can say may I, because you want to be humble, you want to be polite. But if you're asking someone else, usually we don't say may, we say can or could, or if you don't want to be polite, you can say would or will. But may is too polite for if the subject is not yourself. Yes, it is still a question. Okay, page 16, other questions? Number 5, you must, again, modal verb, so followed by the original form, tell. So you don't need the to, right? You must tell. Other questions? Page 16? No? Okay, page 17. Questions about page 17? I think so, right? It should be in this file. Here, yeah. So yes, you do have the correct answers. Yeah. Questions about page 17? Paragraph number 4. Well, hang on, there's only 4 paragraphs. What's the first word of the line? Oh, okay. And producer, and I forgot about my embarrassment. Okay, so which part do you want to ask about? Oh, okay. I must have gone and okay. So the and is connecting the two verbs, go and try. So these two words must have the same grammar. The first one follows have, right? So it's have gone. So the second one must also be have tried. Try, tried, tried. It's regular. It's regular. Okay. Other questions about this page? No? Okay, next page. Page 18. Questions about page 18. Here's what scientists know, this one. Right under the surface of the skin. Yes, okay. So which part do you want to ask about? Okay, the word, yes, sensory is an adjective. It's related to sense. So might is a modal verb. It must be followed by the original form. Might carry. Other questions about this page? No? Okay, page 19. Questions about page 19. Okay, so Al, A-L, Al told me. Okay, which part do you want to ask? Okay, so should is a modal verb. It should be followed by the original form, so should make it. Other questions on this page? Okay, might is a modal verb, so it must be followed by the original form, be. Other questions? No? Okay, next page, page 20. Questions about page 20? No? Okay, page 21. Number 2, I asked my roommate to let me. Okay, so as we mentioned last time, let, make, and have after the object use the original form. So let me use. Don't need the to. Make me use, have me use, let me use. Uh, make, let, have, object, original form. Oh, okay. So let, the meaning of let is allow, right? So you have to think, does the subject, sorry, does this person, yes, so let is allow and make is compel. So the difference is in intention. In this case, originally the roommate usually would not let the subject use their nail polish or his nail polish, shoe polish. Um, so you're asking for permission. You're asking the roommate to allow you. But if the person doesn't want to do something and you want them to do it, then you would use make. Right. So in this case, uh, this I wants to use the roommate's shoe polish, but usually is not allowed to. So you're asking for permission. But if this I does not want to use the roommate's shoe polish, but the roommate wants them to, then you are forcing the I, you are compelling the I, then this should be make. Yes, so it depends on whether the object wants to or not. Yes. And if you don't know or don't care, you can use have. Yes. Okay, other questions about this page? Yes. Number 5. Mm. So it is colloquially correct. In daily life, you can say it is too beautiful, it is so beautiful. But grammatically speaking, too is negative. So too beautiful means it's too beautiful to do something or for someone. Yes. Yes. So again, if you say it's too beautiful in a positive way, everybody will understand you, but it's technically not correct. Yes. Other questions about this page? It is very beautiful, or I will accept it is so beautiful. Other questions about page 21? Number 6. Okay. Uh, I went to the college bookstore in order to get, for the purpose of. If you want to use for, uh, you do have to add the purpose of or the goal of. So I went to the college bookstore to get or in order to get. I think we're going to talk about this today, so don't worry about it. Right. So if you think about the concept, 2 plus original form and 4 plus, this is called a gerund. We're going to talk about it today. Seem to mean the same thing, but in English, we prefer using 2 plus original form. So this should be to get or in order to get. Number 7. Okay. This we will also talk about this today, but this should be the original form. 2 plus original form. Um, this is called the infinitive. Expecting to do something or hoping to do something, it's always 2 plus the original form of the verb. Again, we will talk about this today. Other questions on this page? Did I just forget to label that? No. Yeah, no. This is part of the homework. Yeah, okay. Page 22. Sorry. Okay. Page 21, number 9. Okay. Yes. Page 21, number 9. Barbara always makes me. Okay. So make me original form laugh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Other questions about 21? No. 22. Questions about 22. Number 2. Bobby was lying in bed. Okay. Uh, this should be a gerund. You're doing something while you are in some kind of state. This should be crying. And we will talk about this today. I think I mislabeled the units. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about this later today. It should be crying. Yeah. You can think about this another way. If it's to cry, why do you have the to? Is it in order to? Is he expecting to? Yes. Yeah, but that's not why we're using the gerund. It's because you need a noun, but there's no need for the to. So the only other option is the gerund ing. We're going to talk about this. Yeah. Other questions about this page? Number 3. Yeah, I think I mislabeled the units. Can we come back to this after the unit? Yeah, then I hope you'll understand this better. Sorry about that. Yeah. So other questions about the homework from pages 15 to 20? No? Okay, great. So um, let's talk about today's unit. We're going to be talking about 3 things. Let's start with the easy one. The imperative mood. Imperative, if you know your Latin, this is the root form of empire. or emperor, or imperial. So the imperative mood is to give orders. 祈使句. When you give orders, you are always talking to somebody else. So you don't need the subject. Right? If I say open the window and I'm talking to you, of course the subject is you. So you don't need the subject. The subject is always understood. In the imperative mood, the verb is always in the original form. You can make this more polite. Please open the window. Sorry, I can't type today. Please open the window. Or if you want to be more polite, kindly open the window. In all these cases, the verb is in the original form. There is no visible subject, so this is the imperative mood. Have we seen this word before, mood? In grammar, a mood tells you the attitude of the speaker. Regular sentences are in the indicative mood. You say something to indicate a situation. Imperative mood, you're like an emperor giving orders. And then later in the semester, I think next week, or 2 weeks later, next week is a holiday, we're going to talk about the subjunctive mood, which is you're guessing. Okay, so that's the imperative mood. Questions? Okay, there's no subject, right? So can you make a passive? Yes, you can. Oh, hang on, let me think. No, you can't. You can't make a passive from the imperative. It's always active order. Okay, yeah, so that's the we're done with the imperative mood. That's it. That's just all that is. So if you see a sentence with no subject and it's ordering someone to do something, then it is imperative. One of the most common ones. Let's go have lunch. Let us go have lunch. The word let is a verb. So there's no subject. Let is in the original form. This is also imperative. In Chinese, this is most directly translated as 让我们去吃午餐吧. Hmm? Well, yes, because the word let means allow, right? So yes, you're right. This means it's the same thing as please allow us to have lunch. But in usual usage, the us includes everybody, including the person you're talking to. So let's go have lunch let's say let us go have lunch is not the same as let us go home. Teacher, please. Right? In the first one, the us includes everybody, the speaker, the addressee, everybody else in the conversation. But in the second one, this us does not include the addressee, the teacher, the person you're talking to. This is a strange thing about the English pronoun we. Sometimes we can include everybody. Sometimes we only includes one part of the group. But in both cases, these sentences are imperative, right? No subject, original form of the verb, you're asking somebody for something. Okay, questions about the imperative mood? Now, okay, now it gets confusing. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the infinitive. And the infinitive is simply to plus original form. In English, there are some times when we need a noun, but the concept is a verb. It's an action. In that case, we have two options. The first option is the infinitive. Yes, so a verb used as a subject or object. The most common kind is I want to learn more grammar, this kind. I want. Want is a verb. It takes an object. In this case, the object is to learn, the action of learning. So it looks like a verb, but it's used as a noun, in this case, the object. That is the infinitive. It could be in the object, it could be in the subject. We come back to Hamlet. To be or not to be. That's a bad example. Okay, here's another one. To err is human, to forgive divine. Err means make a mistake. So if you make a mistake, that's fine. Everyone does this. But if you are able to forgive mistakes, that makes you better than human. So well, I guess these are two sentences. In these two sentences, the subject is to err and to forgive. These are the subjects. And the main verb is. In the second half, the main verb is replaced with a comma because it's the same verb. This is something you can do in English. Right, so you can use an infinitive for the subject. You can use an infinitive for the object. You use an infinitive when there is some kind of expectation or desire or supposition, like it's probably going to happen, or you want it to happen, or what if it happens? So it's some kind of uncertainty or hope. Now, if you need to use a verb as a noun and you don't have that idea of uncertainty, then you would use the gerund. The gerund is just VING. In Chinese, we call this 动名词. I think this is a better name because it tells you exactly what it is. 动名词,动词当名词用. You're using a verb as a noun. So let's see. Eating breakfast is my favorite part of the morning. So in this sentence, the subject is eating. The verb is. So you're using this action as the subject. Now, when saying this, I am not expecting to eat breakfast. I am not hoping to eat breakfast. I'm simply stating my opinion. It's a neutral attitude. But if we use the infinitive to eat breakfast, then that creates a feeling of expectation and hope. I'm looking forward to doing this. So it's a difference in attitude. A gerund is neutral. An infinitive is looking towards the future, whether positive or negative, usually positive. But not always, right? To err, to make a mistake, that's not positive. But you're looking towards the future. Maybe it might happen. What if it happens? Seeing is believing. Yes. This is also a common phrase that uses two gerunds. Noun is noun. The act of seeing is the same as the act of believing. That's what this means. In this case, you are not thinking about what if I see something. You're not thinking about maybe I will believe it. You're simply stating a neutral opinion. Yes. Yes, the action is the same, the idea is the same, the attitude is slightly different. You guys remember when we talked about the present perfect and the simple past? 简单过去式跟现在完成式. So, okay, let's do a very quick review. These two both mean the same thing, but the attitude is different. I ate breakfast is a simple statement, simple past. I have eaten breakfast means that this statement has some kind of effect on what you're going to say next or what somebody else is saying to you. It presumes a relationship with some other parts of whatever you're talking about. But the meaning is the same. It is both mean that at some time in the past, I consumed food as the first meal of the day. It's the attitude relating to other parts of the conversation. That's what's different. Yeah, you can say, no need to get me anything. Thanks. Right? It's related to something else. Similarly, these two sentences have the same meaning, but the attitude of the speaker is different. First one is neutral. Gerund is neutral. The second one, infinitive, is thinking about the future. Something that may or may not happen. You want it to happen. You expect it to happen, or not. But that thought is there. Now, we are using verbs as nouns. Verbs can take objects, right? So we don't just say eating, or we can, but we can also say eating breakfast. This is the object of eating. Same thing for infinitives, right? Learn, the object of learn is more grammar. So if a gerund can take an object, then it could also have a subject. This might be a bit mind-bending. Please try to keep up. Someone give me a verb. 给我个动词. Stand. Thank you. Standing on principle makes one a good debater. To stand on principle means to defend a principle. So it's not just about who's right, who's wrong, but what is the value that you're talking about. So in this case, the subject is this gerund, standing. The verb is makes, the object is one, and then you need more to finish the sentence. Standing, in this case, you also need more information to finish this part of the sentence. We call this the subject complement. It just means you need more information to finish the sentence. So to simplify, you can think of this as the subject. Now, you have basically something similar to the object, but you can also have a subject for standing. So let's change this to me. You can say, originally you might say, this part might be, I stand on principle. Right? So now we're moving this to, we're changing this to a gerund in order to make it the subject of this sentence. So stand is standing, on principle is still on principle. What about the I? If you want to preserve the I, you can't put two nouns together. That makes the first noun an adjective. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the semester. But you cannot put two nouns together. You must change one of them. Let's change the first one. My standing on principle. So I stand turns into my standing. This, if you think about it, this kind of makes sense. Look, uh, he drives. If we use this as the subject of a new sentence, uh, the verb becomes driving, right? Is, let's say he's a bad driver. So in this case, you do need to move the subject down as well. You need to keep that subject. So we change it into an adjective. His driving. This sentence is easily understood. This is a very common kind of sentence, right? His driving is pretty terrible. His typing is excellent. His gaming skills are unequaled, right? This kind of sentence is very common. You are using a gerund with the original subject now changed into an adjective. You can't do this for the infinitive. This only applies to the gerund. Questions? Yeah, but you're simply saying, like the sentence he drives is the same as saying he can drive, he does drive, he knows how to drive. Yeah. This is something that he does more than once, commonly. Yeah. So we've been using the gerund in the subject. You can also use the gerund in the object, and I'm going to let you take a break right after this. Um, I hate his driving, right? So same thing. We're taking he drives, and now we're putting it in the object. I is the subject, hate is the verb, driving is the object, and this is the original subject of drive. So you can think of this as the object. So one common mistake people make is to use the object. I hate him driving is a more common form, and it means I don't like it when he drives. But the actual correct form is his driving. So in fact, this sentence can have two different meanings. It could mean I don't like the way he drives, or it could mean I don't like it when he drives. Questions? Okay, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll do some practice. Now you can do pages 20 and 21 and look at those questions 21 and 22, and do the questions you did not understand before. So we'll talk about 21 when we come back. Okay, so because pages 21 and 22 were technically part of the homework, let's do them together. So page 21, number 2, asked my roommate to. This is the infinitive, right? If you're asking for something, you are looking toward the future, you are expecting them to say yes or no. So asked to, original form, this is infinitive. Number 3, I heard a car door. There is no expectation here. It's a simple statement. You heard something. So this should be gerund, opening. It says to open and closing. These two should be the same grammar. So one of these is wrong. And it's the first one that's wrong. This should be opening. It's a neutral statement, no expectation. Um, Number 6, to get or in order to get, it is an expectation of the future. You go there because you expect you are able to get those books. So it should be infinitive, to get. Uh, Number 7, having to do something. This is a variation of have to, right? You have to do something. And have to, the to is also infinitive. So to send, to plus original form. Number 8, this is correct. Deserve to do something. Deserve means you expect it should happen. It would be right for it to happen. You are looking toward the future. The problem is this should be passive. Be told the truth. Let's see. Number 11, same as the bookstore one. You go to some place in order to do something. Uh, Here, to be filled is correct, but you also have the option of omitting it. Case under. If your infinitive is to be, and there's another word after it, like so it's be filled, right? So if your infinitive is to be, you can omit this. So you can say to have my prescription filled. Yeah, so for this kind of passive construction, you can omit the to be. Um, Same here. So this should be she had her picture be taken, right? You need the be verb for the passive. But if your passive is a simple be verb, you can omit the be because then the taken can be explained as a past participle, and now you have no idea what I'm talking about. But trust me, you can omit the be. I think we will talk about, no, we have already talked about this. Okay, yeah, so taking versus taken as adjectives, right? To have her picture taken, you can think of the word taken as describing the picture. The picture has been taken. It is a taken picture. So you can use the passive, be taken, or you can think of this word as an adjective, taken. But either way, it's not taking, it's taken. Okay, next, enough information to do something, infinitive. Enough means you are expecting to use it for some reason. You're looking toward the future. Um, so this should be to begin. But the object of begin, writing, is correct. This is gerund because here you're to begin writing. You already have the expectation on begin, to begin. You don't need a second expectation on writing. And then the last one, to begin. Why did the music director tap his baton? He wants us, he expects us to join him in beginning the rehearsal. So expectation, to begin. You can also explain this as in order to begin. More questions about this page, 21? No, okay, 22. Question 2, lying in bed, crying. There is no expectation here. If you say to cry, then it means for the purpose of, in order to. He's lying in bed in order to cry. I mean, it could make sense, but it's a less common situation. The more common situation is simply you are saying that he's already in bed and he's already crying. There is no expectation, there is no intention, goal. It's a simple, neutral description. Lying in bed crying. Yes. Yes. From context. And if it's a single sentence like this with no context, choose the most common meaning. Fortunately for you guys, the exam is not single sentences. It's a full paragraph. So you will have context. Um, Number 3, by takes an object. After by, you need a noun. So this should be taking. Number 4, expected. So this should be to be admitted. It should be infinitive. Right? It already tells you expect, future. Okay. Number 5, advised us not to sign. The lawyer is expecting that you want to sign and is trying to prevent you. So the lawyer is also thinking about the future. So advise us not to sign. Number 6, responsible. This should be for notifying. To be responsible for something means that thing is your duty. So in this case, you should remember the collocation responsible for. We will talk more about this when we get to prepositions near the end of the semester, but I think it's easier to remember prepositions if you co-locate them, put them together with the previous word. So like want to, ask to, responsible for. And since you have a for, the next word must be a noun. Notifying. Next one, to fail to do something is also looking toward the future. He was supposed to, he didn't. So this should be failed to call. Number 8, to ask someone to do something, to translate it. Number 9, by takes a noun, so this should be looking. Number 11, in order to protect, for the purposes of protecting, a goal is infinitive, to protect. Number 12, on weekends is a neutral statement. It's not saying next weekend, it's saying usually on weekends. So go fishing. Like this sentence structure is also quite common, like, right? I like to go hiking. I like to go biking. I like to go gaming. I like to go fishing. 13, to get someone to do something. You grab the person and you want them to or expect them to do something. So this should be infinitive to take. In this case, the word get just means ask. Maybe you can ask Charlie to take you to the airport. Number 14, advise. We saw this one earlier, not to eat. Number 15, same thing, but look, 14 has advise plus object plus not to do something. 15 has advise. We need an object. Advise, you can say us, you can say people, everyone. A general all-purpose object will do. And then to eat. If this is to eat, you have the and, so this must also have the same grammar. This should be to exercise. So to eat less and to exercise more. Finally, in English, if you repeat a word, you can omit it the second time if you want. So you can also say to eat less and exercise more. Um, it depends on where you split the sentence, right? So let's see if I can do this. You can say uh, to eat and to exercise, or you can say to eat and exercise. You can divide the sentence in two different places. So either answer is fine. 大家看懂吗？ Yes? Yes, okay, that is also acceptable. So you can think of these two as simple objects. And in that case, if you don't have an object already, you can turn these into gerunds. So eating less and exercising more. That could also work. Great. Number 16, smell something burning. It's the same structure as the second half. He saw fire coming out of the oven. So he smelled something burning. Same grammar. Questions about 22? Yeah, burning, ing, gerund. Just like the second half. Saw fire coming out. Other questions? Okay, if not, let's let you practice. Page 23, we have 16 questions related to gerunds and infinitives. 16 questions. I'll give you 10 minutes. Feel free to discuss with your classmates. And if you need help, I will also be walking around so you can ask me for help as well. 郑慧瑜，郑慧瑜在吗？杨志允，Yes, number one, please. Good. I don't enjoy watching TV. We're not expecting anything. This is a simple, neutral statement. Number two, 蓝正红，蓝正红在吗？No. 何品轩，何品轩，嗯，杨秀安。Number two, please. Good. Spend time playing. Spend time doing something. Another way to understand this as to spend time on something. And so the something is also a noun, on playing board games. Good. Number three, 一品涵, 一品涵. Number three, please. Good. It's important to keep your mind active. This is advice. So you're talking about the future, you're looking toward the future. To keep. Number four, a lot of you, I'm sure, are thinking that avoid is looking toward the future, so it should be to. But no, in English, words like avoid, prevent, prohibit, usually take the preposition from. And after the word from is a noun. So this should be becoming. Avoid becoming, prevent becoming. So you can think about it like this. If you want something, if it's positive, it's want to. If you don't want something, it's keep from. So want to, of course, would take infinitive original form verb. Keep from takes a noun, so you need a gerund. So want, if it's positive, you can think about it as want to. If it's negative, you can think about it as keep from doing. So in this case, avoid becoming. And the second half, by taking a noun, exercising. Number five, 吴秀云. 吴秀云在吗? Yes, number five, please. Good. Playing word games. This is the subject. So you don't need the word it. Playing word games is. And the rest is correct. Number six, 于星辰. 于星辰在吗? 杨宇璇. 杨宇璇. 左品红. Number six, please. It is. Good. So it is correct, but this is also correct. To exercise regularly, this is correct. So for a sentence that begins with the null subject is, it is beneficial for everyone to exercise regularly. Let's simplify this. We don't need the for everyone. It is beneficial to exercise regularly. The it is a null subject. It doesn't mean anything. 虚主词. the real subject is here. So this sentence is the same as to exercise regularly is beneficial. Eh. Yes, these two sentences are exactly the same. The only difference is now you have the it, and it doesn't mean anything. It's empty. It's null. Why do we have this option? Because sometimes the subject infinitive is very long. For example, it is easy to think that English grammar is impossible to learn, but that's not true. The subject is to think that English grammar is impossible to learn. It's a very long subject. So instead of saying to think that English grammar is impossible to learn is easy, that can get very confusing. We put the word it in front, and then at the end we add the original subject to think, so that the reader knows this is not the real subject. The real subject is coming later. It's just very long. Okay? So that's what's happening here. The real subject is to exercise. But it's in the back, so we have to add the it. So that part is correct. 品宏，要不再试一个 number 7 to eat? Yes, this is advice. So you're looking toward the future. Advise older people to eat fish 2 or 3 times a week. Good. Number 8. 何雨涵，何雨涵在吗？ Number 8, please. To eat well. Anything else? Yes, you can also say to exercise, or you can omit the to and just say exercise is fine. So this is advice. You're looking toward the future. Try to eat well. Try to exercise every day. Now, there is a version of this sentence that uses the gerund. For example, if I say, you should try biking to work, like riding a bicycle to work. I'm not exactly saying like it's a better idea. I'm saying it is an alternative that you can consider. In this case, eating well and exercising is obviously the better option. So it is a straightforward recommendation. But if you are simply offering another option to consider, you can use the gerund. Number 9. 刘一星在吗？ Number 9, please. Okay, almost is interested in learning. Right, so interested takes the preposition in. There is another form of this sentence that can use to. Interested has 2 meanings. One meaning is in this sentence, he has an interest. The interest is related to that thing. For this sentence, you would use interested in learning. However, the other meaning of interested is curiosity. I would be interested to learn about other cultures. Oh, that's a bad sentence. We need another sentence. I would be interested to see what happens next. So here we're not talking about something that I'm interested in. We're talking about curiosity. I'm curious. I want to know. In this case, you can use interested to, infinitive. But in our question, it is very clearly interest in a certain subject. So it's interested in learning. Yixing, do you want to try another one? Number 10, please. Okay, it should be wants to live. To ask for something, to expect something, to want something is infinitive. You're looking toward the future, right? Next year, the future. He wants to live in Japan. Number 11, 周可晴. Sorry, where are you? Okay, good. Attending, because it is the object of about attending. Good. Number 12, 邱人. Hi, good morning. Yuren, number 12. Number 12. Yes. Yes, he is struggling to learn Japanese. Good job. I love it when a student wakes up and knows the answer. Reminds me of myself. Number 13, Wang Boxuan. Wang Boxuan. Yes, number 13, please. Good. He has a hard time pronouncing the words. Good. Yeah, it's a neutral statement. Number 14, Zhang Anqi. 14. Good. He keeps on studying and practicing. Be careful, it's not ing because he continues. It's because it's the simple statement of his actions. There's no expectation. He keeps doing it. It's a neutral statement. Number 15, 林奕轩. 林奕轩在吗? Yes, number 15, please. Listening, good. He lies in bed listening to Japanese language teaching programs. This is the same grammar as our first or our second sentence previously, right? Crying, lying in bed crying, lying in bed listening. Finally, number 16, 李永晴. 李永晴在吗? No? 赖鸿凯. 赖鸿凯. Oikawa Saya. Are you here? Yes, number 16, please. Okay. So this is a fun one. He dreams of traveling to Japan. Okay, questions about this page? Okay, so the rest is homework. Please do 24, 25, 24 and 25. That's it. Yeah, 2 pages. Next week is a holiday. It's a good chance to review grammar. Okay, see you in 2 weeks.